famous author in Japan. The first one is we have Haruki Murakami. Haruki Murakami is one of the well-known Japanese author to English speaker. So Haruki Murakami is a famous Japanese author to those English speaker. And also Haruki Murakami has written more than 20 novels, short story collection and non-fiction titles. Haruki Murakami was born in 1949 in Kyoto, Japan, and in 1979, he wrote his first novel. Haruki Murakami is a unique Japanese author because he catches the attention of those English speakers. His work is mostly known or mostly famous in those English country. Also, he realized that he wanted to write a novel while watching a baseball game at Jingu Stadium. It is one of the iconic or random thought that he wanted to become a writer while watching a baseball game. Because of his talent and unique way of writing, he wins several awards including the Jerusalem Prize. And his work has been translated to more than 50 languages. The second one is we have Natsuki Rino. Natsuki Rino is a crime writer who is perhaps best known for forcing readers to consider women's capabilities for violence. So Natsuki Rino is a writer who focuses on the genre of crime, and in his work, he trying to persuade everyone that women have the ability to become violent. Natsuki Rino was born in 1951 and he did many different professions before he settled on writing, and it was not until the 1990s that he found success. So before becoming a writer, Natsuki Rino have done many different jobs that until he discovered that he can write novels, poem, or any kind of literature. And in 1990s, it was the first time that he discovered or he discovered by everyone and become successful. The third one is we have Koko Abe. Koko Abe was a Japanese poet, essayist, playwright, and novelist. He was born in 1924 and he moved frequently between Tokyo and Manchuria in his early years. So Koko Abe is not settling in one place. He is moving from Tokyo to Manchuria in his early years. This ruthlessness had profound effect on Abe and later on his writing. Because Koko Abe doesn't have a permanent place or called ruthlessness, it affect his work later on. Koko Abe enrolled in medical school in 1943 because medical students were exempted from military work and survived World War II without having fight. So, before becoming a writer, Koko Abe enrolled in a medical school because not because he wanted to become a nurse or doctor, but because he wanted to be exempted from military, and also it became his defense mechanism not to join the World War II and survive later on. But medicine was not his passion, and after he graduated, he went to write poetry and plays and married stage director. Just like what I said a while ago, becoming a doctor or a nurse is not his passion. He just enrolled in this course because he wanted to survive. And later on, after he graduated, he started to write poetry and plays. And after that, while he's on his journey in literature or as an author, he married a stage director, and he began publishing surrealist novel, many of which are influenced by his time in Manchuria. So his work or many of work of Koko Abe was influenced or based on the experience that he experienced on Manchuria. The next one is we have Banana Yoshimoto. Banana Yoshimoto is a notable writer born in 1952 to a liberal family of artists and writer. She was only 23 when her first novel, Kitchen, was published. So Banana Yoshimoto came from the family of artists and writer. So his dedication and passion in writing came from his origin. And when he was only 20 years old, her first novel was published entitled Kitchen. And this novel entitled Kitchen was well received and winning her 16th Kali Newcomers Literacy Prize and gaining her national and international recognition. Because of her talent and passion in writing, the first work that she published became famous and gained many awards that became her door to gain recognition nationally and internationally. She went to write 12 more novels and essay collection, and her work was produced into Japanese TV shows and movies. Yoshimoto works often deals with youth, existentialism, and how tragedy can shape our lives. The next one is we have Yoko Ogawa. He was born in 1962. Yoko Ogawa is the prolific author of more than 40 works of fiction and non-fiction. However, only a small fraction of her work is available in English, including her 2003 novel entitled The Professor and the Housekeeper, which was made into a movie called The Professor with Love Equation and Revenge, a collection of unsettling short stories. So, mostly of the work of Yoko Ogawa is a short story where there is no specific settings. Also, there's only few novels of Yoko Ogawa is translated to English, but this become a big hit. The next one is we have Sayaka Murata. Sayaka Murata has written 10 books that are immensely popular in Japan. She was born in 1979. She was an early and avid reader of science fiction and mystery, and her mother supported her writing from a young age by buying her a word processor. She first published on 2003 and began to win awards immediately. Murata has received the Gonzo Prize for New Writers, the Mishima Yokyo Prize, and the Akutagawa Prize. She's written across genre, but her books tend to look at society, conformity, and human behavior that she has observed in her job as a part-time in convenience store clerk. So Sayaka Murata is a across writer. She wrote different genres, but her books consist of evolve in the genre of society, conformity, and human behavior that based on the experience or observation that she had. The next one is we have Yoko Mishima. Yoko Mishima, often regarded as one of the most important Japanese writer of the 20th century. Yoko is also a controversial figure. He was born in 1925. He had an unconventional upbringing. His writing endeavors were not supported by his father, although his mother often encouraged him. He went on to write and publish 34 novels, 50 plays, and numerous short stories. He even wrote and directed a handful of film and worked as a model. Also, he escaped serving as a soldier during World War II due to illness, but his nationalism was often polarizing. In 1968, he founded the Tatenokai, a private military force meant to protect the Emperor of Japan. In 1970, he and the 3 members of Tatenokai attempted to coup the attack to restore power to Emperor, and when it failed, he performed a ritual suicide. Mishima was very widely published in English and well regarded in the Western world during his lifetime. The next one is we have Ryu Murakami. Ryu Murakami is not the only famous Japanese writer named Murakami. He was born in 1952. Ryu Murakami has had an interesting career beyond writing books. He's been in band, has worked as an indie filmmaker, and founded an online magazine in 1999 that is still running today. He's written more than 30 books and many are widely translated and available in English. Perhaps his most well-known book here in the US is entitled Audition. And also, before becoming a writer, Murakami work connected to being an artist. The next one is we have Kanae Minato. Kanae Minato is well known in Japan for her mystery and crime novels and has been even crowned the Queen of Iyamishu novel, which roughly translated to Iyo novels. The term describes dark mystery that make you say ew. She was born in 1979. Minato came into writing in her 30s and her debut Confusion was a runaway hit. Since then, she's written 14 novels, although only 2 are translated in English and available in US. So Kanae Minato is the holder of title Queen of Iyamishu novel, where it's the famous platform in Japan for writers. The last one is we have Keigo Higashino. Keigo Higashino was born in 1958. He is not only one of the most famous mystery writer in Japan, but in all of the Asia. He went to school to study electrical engineering but started writing in high school and never stopped. Even after school, while working as an engineer, he would write on night and weekend and submit his stories to the Edogawa Rampo Prize. He took the prize in 1984 and gave up engineering to become a full-time writer. Nearly every one of Keigo Higashino novels have been made into TV show or movie in Japan, and his book Nooko was made into film starring David Duchovny called The Secret. So Keigo Higashino is a very popular writer not only in Japan but also in Asia, and also he is very dedicated and passionate in his writing because he gave up his work as an engineer. He is very dedicated and passionate in his writing because he gave up his work as an engineer. The last one is we have Keigo Higashino. Keigo Higashino was born in 1958. He is not only one of the most famous mystery writer in Japan, but in all of the Asia. He went to school to study electrical engineering but started writing in high school and never stopped. Even after school, while working as an engineer, he would write on night and weekend and submit his stories to the Edogawa Rampo Prize. He took the prize in 1984 and gave up engineering to become a full-time writer. Nearly every one of Keigo Higashino novels have been made into TV show or movie in Japan, and his book Nooko was made into film starring David Duchovny called The Secret. So Keigo Higashino is a very popular writer not only in Japan but also in Asia, and also he is very dedicated and passionate in